me. Just go take photos. I reckon the best thing about today is if you guys want to interject at any point and ask any questions, that'll make me more comfortable, and we can run through that. So, I'm an interiors and architectural photographer. I'm very, very lucky. Over the last 7 years, I've been shooting for myself as a freelance photographer. I sort of started off admiring all the pretty things in a lot of magazines. Now, one of my very proud things is that I get to shoot for those magazines. I get to see one of them, which is a bit special. Every month it's kind of nice to get a few publications sent over, and I get that from them often. So, interiors and architecture is what I primarily focus on. So I'm just going to run through some photos from a few projects. If you want to ask some questions, go from that. Some of you guys may know this one. This is Maker down in South Brisbane, across the room. Two great projects that I did last year and the year before, I think. The image on the left here is a project by Paul Owen. I shot it architecturally, but I think it slips kind of nicely into the interior bracket as well. Some of the favourite things that I love about interiors is capturing really lovely small moments. Moments that pretty much have sometimes to clients dismay, but a lot of negative space. And then architecture. Architecture sort of is more commercial and residential. At the moment there's loads of commercial projects being shot, more so than resi at the moment. An amazing great project, another one by Paul Owen. Really honoured to shoot this project. It's an amazing house and really great clients. Commercial projects. This is an amazing project up in Cairns. It was a sweltering hot day. The Kevin O'Brien's the architect. We flew up for the day. Qantas very kindly left my gear on the tarmac in Brisbane. So we arrived about 8 a.m. and I had just a backup camera, and no tripod. So at about 12, they finally got my camera case and the rest of my gear to me. So we had to shoot an entire project in about 4 hours. We were on the 5 o'clock flight back to Brisbane. And I don't normally like to shoot exteriors in the middle of the day, but after stopping some traffic and sweating for about half an hour, dodging traffic that was coming through, I managed to get this shot. I love this shot because it's something that I spend a lot of time trying to do, is get all my lines nice and straight. Really bugs me when you see photos and the horizon. Great project by James Russell and John Elway. Really sort of a precious moment, clients, and I asked them to step in. I framed up the shot, and I didn't actually think it would turn out as good as that, to be brutally honest. It's a little bit angelic. So there's sort of another part of what I do, and that's lifestyle and advertising work. I don't really promote a lot of it. It's not that I don't not like shooting it or promoting it, it's just something that I tend to spend more time loving the interior stuff than the architecture. But I do shoot it, which sort of encompasses food, a little bit of advertising work for brands, portraits, development campaigns, and food. Okay, so this is about moments. So I thought that I would now you know a little bit about what I do, the moments that I think that I feel like I need to point out through over the last 7 years that I've been shooting, the sort of little growth moments. And so doing this sort of talk has made me realise that looking back and trying to pick up deliberate moments throughout those years is that without sounding a little wanky, I unknowingly created a brand about myself. And I think that was just due to making a solid decision in time. Before that, for the first few years of shooting for myself, I was doing products and I was locked away in the studio, and I could shoot plumbing products really well. But it wasn't what I really wanted to shoot. I really wanted to shoot interiors, and I really wanted to shoot with some gentle nudging from friends, architecture. So I sort of gave up all those clients, and I focused purely on being super selective on what I wanted to do. And that was create this really narrow niche field, and I did nothing else but that for about 3 years. It took a while, I lost a lot of clients, and it's been a slow process to build up that client base and get your name out there for not shooting products, but for shooting things, and only wanting to shoot them purely because you love them. So then, being selective and who and what I shot for was another part of that decision. And it's okay, I think, to be able to say no if your heart's not in it. And I think it's a really good moment to realise that if you're struggling on something, and I think all freelancers and everyone at different times face it, is that a big thing for me was just which I'll touch on a little bit, is like that self-belief thing. But being able to say no, which I'm still learning to do. I still suffer being unsure I can do that. But funny story, I've never shot a wedding and I'm really super proud about that. But last year I got an email saying from this couple, they're like, we really love you to shoot our wedding, and we love your work. I was like, thanks so much guys, that's really lovely. But I'm not a wedding photographer. You'll all be hitting drinks before I set up my first shot, and I'm not really the right guy for this. So I sent them a list of other photographers that I liked and knew that would probably nail it. Didn't really hear anything back. And they're like, no, thanks for all this, but we really, really want you. I was like, guys, again, thanks so much. Have a great wedding. And I just sort of left it and forgot about it. And then sort of a week or so later, they're like, no, what's it going to take? And I was getting a bit angry at this stage. So I just wrote down, what is it going to cost? It's going to cost me 15 grand. It's going to cost you 15 grand. I just wrote 15 grand, never got an email back. And my main thought process was that, and only someone has said recently, was, what if they said yes? And then it actually took me a moment to think about, oh shit, they did say yes. But I'm thinking with that ridiculous amount of money that I'd just be able to be like, I'd hire 2 other really good people. And I'd just like stand there and just get that one main shot of all the clouds to clear and just be like, alright, go. Alright, go. So off track a little bit then. So when I, and then go back to like the whole selection of being like really focused on one area. And I think that sort of proved good for me is that I really didn't want to be a jack of all trades, and I'm quite happy to be overlooked for particular projects and different jobs, just because I know that like I may want to shoot it, but it's more the fact that I think it's a really great point to realize that if you think that there's someone out there better that can do a job better than you, then you should often pass it on. I think there's a bit of honesty in that. So one of my favourite sayings is, comparison will kill you. And it certainly will. Because many years ago I would sit there with other photographers' website up on my computer, and I'd be like, just staring at them like, why are they doing such good work? Why am I not doing that work? How can I get it looking like that? And being like a freelancer, when you spend far too much time with yourself, about this like internalize everything, and all of a sudden I'm like, why am I doing this? So, comparison will kill you, but I think the best way to help get over that, and it's like working on your practice and just developing that focus and that style, and consistency and relationships with both clients and other firms that you deal with. I deal with a lot of furniture companies for shoes, for styling. I think it's really important to develop those relationships, and that will help get your name out there without having to be like a marketing wanker or anything like that, and just promote all the time. And on that, as being authentic and true to my style, I am not a big marketer. I've never sent out marketing emails before. Actually, I lied. I've done it once and I got really dirty, and I wanted to put a recall on it. So that was about 4 years ago, and yeah, I don't know what listen to that now. But I think if you're authentic and true to your style, then there's that relationship that will naturally grow, and that honesty, and clients will just love you even more. And so there are particular moments that are looking back that I felt that are pretty important. A moment that's happened very recently, at the end of last year, I never really thought of myself as an art photographer, or a photographer that would make a work and be willing to show it. And I've always been very petrified of showing work. And it's weird if that's the case, because all my work is shown quite a lot. But it's this weird thing that I've had a client come to me, this is what we've done, this is what we have, please shoot it in your style. Sure, I can do that. But when it comes to something that's really close to your heart, it's that moment when you realize that, holy shit, someone else may not like this, and I'm going to be the only one. But I put loads of effort into it. It's terrifying. I'm sure you'll realize that. But this whole self-belief is something that, as a creative or freelancer, we all suffer with, and I still do. But last year, I did a little series of burnt matches. I did 5 of them in total. And then a friend who's an interior designer, and they were working on a project that I knew about. And they contacted me and they asked if I would be able to do a piece of artwork for them. So we caught up over coffee, and I was like, look, I haven't really got anything. I'm not really a landscape photographer. I'm not really an art photographer. But randomly, about a month ago, I shot this little series of burnt matches, and the matches themselves are just sort of, well, the story behind them is that they're strong, they can cause so much destruction. As soon as you start a match and let it burn out, they're so fragile. And creating these little series, I kept on breaking them, and they just make all these nice shapes. It's really beautiful. But so Lou saw these images that I created. Really simple, they're just burnt match, shot on this beautiful white paper, and lots of white space around them. Anyway, she fell in love with them, and she thought to myself, she said to me, she's like, okay, but I want my own, and I don't want any of these 5, and I want it a little bit like this and a little bit like that. And I'm like, okay, sure, we can do that. And she didn't give me a deadline, which is terrible, because as freelancers, we need a deadline. Otherwise, it just sits and we just wait. And it took far too long, so I was so nervous about shooting this. And then when I finally shot it, I had about 4 or 5 shots that I was really happy with. Matches. The process of selecting these matches, I ended up burning over 100 matches, so two boxes of these lovely matches that I have to find the right one. John, who works in my office, used to always like come in the office after I've been burning all these matches. So I dragged it along, and I didn't. It got to Christmas time, the week before Christmas. I was going overseas, and it got to a point where I'm like, shit, I actually have to do this. I have to man up. I have to deliver this print. Anyway, I loved it, and it was something that I was like, if they don't like it, I'm going to have it in my place. This is how much I love it. So I got all wrapped up, picked it up from my printer and my framer, and I went over to them, made the time to drop it off. Little did I know that Lou actually commissioned me for it as a present for her husband, which then I didn't realize. So on the back of the brown paper, it was all right. I'm like, Lou, hope you love your print. She's actually, it's not for me. It's this for? And I was like, oh, I got it. So they're all there, they're standing there, and it's this weird moment. And Lou was like, oh, it was in the afternoon, and she's like, do you want to drink? I was like, yes, I need a gin. So she was making gin and tonic. They were opening up the thing, this match. And the moment when they ripped past the paper, and they sort of stood back, and they were like, we love it. Their faces, the most, I've never felt that good, really. So, so that is the match itself. It's pretty simple, and this photo doesn't really do it justice, but I shot it in a manner that's it's got its own shadow that's been printed as well. So it actually looks like there's a giant look down match sitting in a box. And they loved it, and even when I was overseas, Lou sent me a text message saying we love it, and it was a moment where I was just like, holy shit, maybe I can do this, maybe I can take photographs that I really like, and other people are going to buy them from me, which is kind of nice, and pay for more holidays. So there was this moment there where it was pretty astonishing, because it's hard to realize that you can make someone happy by shooting something that you had as an idea. And anyways, it was a new feeling for me. It was super special. So, deliver the match, they're super happy. I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. I then went overseas on holiday for roughly a month to the States, and I took some gear with me. And not a whole lot of gear, but just a simple kit. And I thought, if I shoot some stuff over here, there's no pressure on myself, and I just wanted to take photos. If I saw stuff that I liked for me, and I have a deadline, I have someone wanting to, I get that, you guys get this, but like, you shoot a job, and they're like, oh, okay, so my file's like tomorrow? And I'm like, ha! It's not going to happen. So it was really good to have no pressure, and I ended up shooting a handful of shots while I was over there, and I'm super proud of them. I don't consider myself a landscape photographer, but I think they're kind of nice. But so I came back and I was like, you know what? Talking with Laura and friends, they were like, you should actually maybe like turn these out to be prints. So a moment of realization for me, I started doing some prints. And I'm really proud of them. There's only 3. And I don't know how that's coming up on that. But, they're great if you self-plug here. If you want to buy one. Yeah, it's this weird thing now where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take more photos and have people go. And they're super fun. They're kind of lighthearted. Which then brings me on to the last slide, and it's a moment of realization for me that I never shown any work before. And at the later half of this year, I'm having my first exhibition, which I'm super proud about. And shit nervous, and there's going to be 15 pieces, and if anyone has a big warehouse, I'd like to hire it for about 3 weeks.
What about a small warehouse?
How small?
Size of room.
Oh, I need it bigger. And like, if they don't mind a big black box being built in it, and a white dusting of white. So if anyone's okay about that. Cool. So yeah, thanks guys.